Budget reconciliation, bipartisan infrastructure, a debt ceiling, brinkmanship all at once.
The reality is, if nothing happens on those items, nothing happens to the rest of the country.
Oh, but a government shutdown is sort of looming here.
The debt ceiling, not raising that is playing with fire.
It's September 27th, and Congress has 4 days before the U.S. government will shut down and only a couple of weeks before the country runs out of money and defaults on its loans.
The debt ceiling is simply a restriction that Congress puts on the Treasury Department for how much money the federal government can borrow to pay its bills. The government spends more money than it takes in, and so it constantly needs to go back to Congress and ask for them to raise the debt ceiling so that they can keep paying their bills.
We passed legislation to keep government open and lift the debt ceiling.
The big deadline that's happening here is the debt limit. And it's really become a standoff between Senate Republicans and Democrats.
Republicans are trying a dine and dash of historic proportion.
The debt ceiling will be raised, as it always should be, but it will be raised by the Democrats.
We don't know exactly when the government is going to run out of money to keep paying their bills, but Yellen has warned lawmakers that it's coming up very soon.
It is imperative that Congress address the debt limit. If not, our current estimate is that Treasury will likely exhaust its extraordinary measures by October 18th.
Economists warn it could plunge the U.S. into a recession, could cost millions of jobs, billions of dollars. The U.S. could default and be seen by the world as an untrustworthy financial partner. Democrats have tied this spending bill and a bill to raise the debt ceiling together. And Democrats are going to put it up for a vote in the Senate on September 27th. It will almost certainly fail.
The motion is not agreed to.
I think we're going to get it done. And I have meetings tonight, tomorrow, and for the next little bit.
Democrats are desperate for a solution, while Republicans say they won't vote to raise the limit on the amount of money the government can borrow to repay those obligations.
Technically, you need 60 votes to make sure that the debt limit is raised in the Senate. So you would require the buy-in of 10 Republicans. But Democrats argue that the reason why a debt limit has to be raised anyway is because of past spending. All the past spending essentially that's been put on the government credit card, and a lot of that has been allotted to Trump's administration.
Guarantee that the U.S. will not breach the debt ceiling, that will not happen?
No, I can't. That's up to Mitch McConnell.
They have to move quickly and decide what to do next. Do they try to pressure Republicans to vote for the spending bill and debt ceiling package and try again? Or do they try to remove these two and just pass it based on Democratic votes? But again, that can take a while to get done, and Democrats don't feel like they have that time.
Going through reconciliation is risky to the country and is a non-starter.
President Biden cancels a trip to Chicago to continue negotiating with lawmakers and save his agenda from collapse, while the Senate introduces a measure to avoid a shutdown.
The last thing the American people need right now is a government shutdown. This proposal will prevent one from happening.
If the government shuts down, it would be the third time in 3 years. Politically, each situation is unique, but the past couple shutdowns have not gone well for Republicans. Polls have shown that voters tend to blame them more than Democrats for these shutdowns.
Democrats' reckless taxing and spending spree will earn it 0 votes from Senate Republicans.
But hours after promising Republicans wouldn't vote with Democrats, there's been a breakthrough in negotiations.
Today, the Senate will pass a continuing resolution that will eliminate the possibility of a government shutdown tonight. The CR we're voting on will keep the government funded until December 3rd.
The bill is passed.
They still have to find a permanent solution to this by December. With the government funded, attention turns back to Democrats' real priority, the 2 spending bills they want to get passed in tandem.
Congress has a number of challenges and deadlines that they are definitely going to have to address in the next couple weeks. Of course, they were able to avoid that infrastructure vote to try and hash out a bigger reconciliation plan and hope that they can, pass both of those things together.
Republicans say they will not do their part to avoid this needless calamity. So be it. But they need to stop playing Russian roulette with the U.S. economy.
We've been down this path before when you did not have divided government, and the party and the majority got the job done.
On October 7th, Senate leaders announced a short-term deal to raise the country's debt ceiling.
We have reached agreement to extend the debt ceiling through early December.
The Senate is moving toward the plan I laid out yesterday to spare the American people a manufactured crisis.
At this point, if Biden is not able to really address the debt limit, if congressional Democrats, who obviously have majorities in both chambers, aren't able to do that, as well as pass this infrastructure bill and the bigger social safety net package, that really is going to put a dent in the Democratic Party's argument, as well as their leadership and Biden's agenda. It's fair to say that Democrats right now believe that they are able to pass his infrastructure bill and the other economic package, which has become known as that Build Back Better agenda.
This is a process. This is a process. We'll get it done.